Not bluffing, you've got nothing. I'll keep hustling.
Lee, we were supposed to be in bed. What the hell are we doing on YouTube?
Oh, in bed? Not sure, but
It's
at
a
that time.
public holiday. Why are we doing
holiday.
this?
Well, it's only public holiday in South Africa, you know. So, but here we are talking to the world. I don't think there's a public holiday today in the States or
the
in
rest
Europe.
of the world's not sleeping. We need
We
an
have-
international public holiday.
We have a lot of public holiday in South Africa.
That's
I mean,
true.
you guys
I
are
checked the
spoiled.
list. Yeah, we are spoiled, guys. I'm sorry if you're working today, but we decided to take a little bit of time to talk to you about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin crash, I mean, that's something that people want to see. It's easy saying Bitcoin's going to go to 36.5. It's one thing experiencing it. So we want to make sure that you guys, later during the stream, second half of the stream, we want to make sure that you guys are prepared for if it goes there so we don't end up wrecking ourselves. Lee, big thing today. We've got backstage a special guest. And full disclosure, we're invested in this project, yes, but there's some amazing news, and we want to bring news to you guys from a credible source. It's one thing reading an article off a screen from some sort of a page. It's another thing getting it from the credible source, and that's what we want to help you guys. And there's more. There's some giveaways. So please do not run away. Hit the like button, hit the bell button, and the subscribe button. And I think we need to get cracking.
Let's go.
One year of Charli3. Damon,
Hey!
Happy birthday.
happy birthday. You're a 1 year old.
We made it.
Congratulations.
Felt like a hell of a lot more than 1 year. Jesus.
1 year in cryptocurrency space, you know, means maybe 10 years in real life.
Yeah. It's
10
so
years in
weird.
human
It feels
years.
like it was fast, except it also feels like, yeah, it's been like 4 years. So I don't even know what to think. I'm living in two different times.
Welcome to CryptoEMC.
Welcome, buddy. Okay, so the reason we're here is mainly it's time for a little bit of an update. We really want to help the community understand why Charli3 is actually still a big deal. And we want to also give a little bit of pricing because it's your birthday. So instead of us giving you money and buying, you're going to be giving money out to us. I mean, that's an amazing deal, guys. I hope my birthday gets not to be like this because I would want to be the one receiving the gifts.
Right.
But okay, that said, I want to get the elephant out of the room quickly. A while back, Charles Hodgkinson made a claim about Chainlink. Now, Chainlink's an oracle. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what an oracle does, a blockchain is brilliant at capturing data. But the problem is when we need external data. So it's a simple thing, a smart contract. I want to trade my dollars to Damon for Charli's. It's easy. Then the blockchain can see what's in my wallet. It can see what's happening in Damon's wallet. And if we want to trade, it's easy. The bot can make it happen. But as soon as I want to trade my dollars to Damon on a basis of any external information, we made a bet on a sports betting platform, or we did something like that. We need an oracle to bring the data in. We can ask a third person, but I don't trust Damon's friend because he will probably put the info in his favor. So I rather want to have a bot. I rather have something that is not favored to anybody, that's got a preset of rules, and we both can go and read up on it and make sure that we're happy with it, and then we implement it. Because now it's going to be easy. I can do that. I can do the transaction, create the smart contract, and then rest in peace and go watch the game. And that is what an oracle does. It brings external information into a blockchain because a blockchain can't do it on its own. Am I correct there, Damon?
Absolutely. And that's the very first time I've had someone who does the interview actually explain the Oracle. So that was fantastic.
Rudo is very good
But
at
I will
it.
let you do the rest.
Yeah.
Right. So Chainlink does this. Chainlink came out very aggressively. I remember we were looking at Chainlink 11 cents, 12 cents, 15 cents. It's a $40 coin at one stage. It's crazy. $30. It's a lot of gains there. So Chainlink did well, but Chainlink is not native to Cardano. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is a confusion to a lot of people because Charles in September at the Cardano Summit last year announced this big partnership with Chainlink, but they're not built Cardano native. They might integrate later or through something like Milkometa right now, which is an EVM compatibility platform, but they still can't actually integrate with Cardano native built projects with Plutus code. Having a token doesn't mean you're native. It's what your code is actually built in. And we're the only ones so far that can actually integrate any DeFi on Cardano to get the data that it needs. So DeFi on Cardano exists only with us at the moment.
So that's interesting. So in the end of the day, if we were to talk about, and I want to bring up this comment, I get so sad when I see these things. So this is a shill episode. Buddy, this is not a shill episode. This is simple physics. And when I say physics is when you throw a ball, it's going to fall because of gravity. Physics, you can calculate it, you can understand the way it works. So when we want to bring you fundamental news, it's not a case of you need to get into this. You don't need to get into this, but you need to understand what is going to happen, why the physics behind this is so important. Because in the end of the day, what's going to happen? When is Cardano going to go live? First question I'm going to ask you to answer. And then once it goes live, what is going to happen with Charli3? Because if Cardano is going live and it's now getting to that point, because we're all sitting and waiting, what's going to happen with Charli3 that happened with Chainlink? And let's then leave it at that.
Great question. I mean, and it's a big one just based on how our system actually works, right? As far as the token and the use case for it and everything. So just backtrack a little bit on how does our system work? What's the utility of the token? And it's different than every other project out there. So when we actually start being used by Cardano projects going live, which is, by the way, just to answer other people's questions here, is the only reason we aren't live yet is because there's no projects on Cardano that have gone live that need Oracle data yet. As soon as they do, we're ready to go, basically. And I could go into the tech a little bit more on that side. But the way that it actually works is that when projects go live, to pay for the Oracle data to our node operator network, the decentralized network, they actually have to purchase all of our tokens to then pay with the token. So as soon as more projects go live that need Oracle data, they have to start buying up chunks of Charli constantly, more and more and more and more. And the more we get, the more that they bring in, right? The more that they have data come up or trading come up in their platforms, the more data sources they can add, which means the more Charli tokens they can add. So you can only think about what that might do to price.
Lee, there's a Wyckoff law, supply versus demand, buddy. What does that mean? And what will that do to the price?
Well, the more demand, we push the price obviously higher. Obviously, and the less supply as well. If you don't have enough supply for the bigger demand, the higher it will be, basically. If the demand is bigger than the supply, it's even going to be better. But am I right if I'm saying that all the project all of the project, basically all the project on blockchain need an Oracle, whether it's Chainlink or Charli3's.
Anything that's DeFi, needs Oracle data. So in one sense or another, and there's different types of oracles. I mean, API 3 is another great project. It's a first-party oracle. We're a third-party oracle, and the difference is with API 3, they connect you directly to your API source, which is just a single point, which is kind of what Rudo was talking about before. It's higher chance of manipulation, but not all projects need a full aggregate sense like we do. So we take the same set from multiple different exchanges, kind of average it together, throw out outlying data, so you get a truth source that everyone can use the same. So any kind of trading platform that's not a DEX, so things like Indigo Protocol or Binance on Cardano will need these things, stable coins on Cardano, so like Cody and Jed. their Digit stablecoin will need an Oracle as well to keep everything stable.
So when you guys say aggregate, you almost, there goes that biker again, Lee.
Yeah.
When you guys say, we need to wave him by. When you guys say aggregate, you basically say it's almost like a democracy within the data. What is the data that gets presented the most, gets assumed as the correct data? Do you have an external little something that goes and search for it on itself as well, like Chainlink? Chainlink's got something that allows it to look at the aggregate data, but also go and try and ask the question itself. Meaning, in a simple thing, what was the score of the game? Can your smart contract go and look up that score itself as well, and not just rely on the data?
No, so the way that we're doing it is we have multiple nodes, the same kind of way that Chainlink's doing, in that it's fully decentralized. We didn't want to have our own systems looking for it because that enters into a sense of centralization within the Oracle data that gets presented to other projects. And we don't want to have to touch it at all. Is a big thing about what Cardano does is fully decentralized function. And so once we give the node operator software out, it will operate automatically on its own. From as many different sources as possible. We don't need to try and back that up because it's already pulling that from everywhere else. As soon as we touch it, it starts fidgeting with the system. And we don't want to have to deal with any kind of centralized application.
And that brings me up to the next question. This is sort of like a setup question. I do apologize.
Okay, keep your question. Please hold on 1 second. Keep your question. I think I want to know, what is the giveaway?
What's the giveaway?
What's the giveaway? What are we gonna get today as a birthday celebration? I mean,
yeah,
we talk about some C3s giveaway, some NFTs. Let us know what you have in your bag for us.
Yeah, so we decided today, just for this stream, to kick off our 1 year, we're gonna give away 2,000 C3 tokens when we go over to Cardano native tokens, so we can roll into that after this, and 2 of our Charli3 cuties NFTs that we had thing on before, and we'll roll into some new updates on those as well as kind of a first exclusive here.
How do we get that? What needs to be done? Is it going to be a draw, or how are we going to do that?
So we are doing on our Twitter posts and live in the comments today. So today, the 2 favorite best soul filling questions that we get from the community on the live chat today will get a chunk of 400 Charli3 tokens, as well as the 2 NFTs to give away. And then we can chat after the show a little bit as well with you directly and answer more questions. And then throughout the next day, I think you guys are bringing me on again tomorrow, or is it Friday? I can't remember.
Friday we're coming on again.
Throughout today and tomorrow, we'll go through the rest of the questions on the Twitter between all 3 of our Twitter accounts and choose the other 4 winners for another 400 C3 each. So get your questions in, retweet, add your friends. I think there's directions in each one of the tweets, and make sure you follow along and have your chance to win 400 C3. And that might be enticing to you based on what we're going to talk about in the rest of the stream here.
Thank you very much. So guys, please post your question here in the comments. So today you get the chance we're gonna pick 2 winners from the live chat, and the rest of the winner will be picked from the Twitter accounts, comments, and this YouTube video live. So if you are live with us, post your comments, and yeah, we're gonna select 2 winners for NFTs and some C3s.
Absolutely.
Over to you. Awesome. What was your next question? I hope you have in your mind.
Well, I hope we've got you guys now eager. So this is important that you listen to this, because this is we're kind of giving you the answers. Okay, so let's get back to it. I was asking about the centralization of Chainlink, and the fact that Chainlink tries to run a monopoly, and they try and provide the information. So it becomes a little bit of a worrying thing. And what Charli3 makes you unique is the fact that you actually promote the use of multiple oracles. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that is actually a big thing, and we weren't aware of it until after we started building that Chainlink actually demands exclusivity from their partners. They don't allow to have a more decentralized manner. If they don't have a set of data that you want, or a different function from a different oracle that you might want to use, tough cookies. You've signed into a contract and you can't. We see that there's a huge need for having multiple oracle systems. Like as confident as we are in our own system, is the full decentralization of it, it can't really be manipulated. Who knows, right? And we want everyone to have a chance to have as many options as possible. So we promote multiple oracles in the system in different types. Like Wolfram Alpha is bringing a type of oracle off-chain queries and computations to Cardano. We want people to use them too. We've talked to them. API 3, which I've already mentioned, a first-party oracle. If you have a system that doesn't need to aggregate and it's going to cost you a bunch of money to use us, but not them, do that, because there's a better chance for you to succeed, right? Indigo Protocol and some other ones are going to use us and a Chainlink when they go off to do off-chain stuff as well. So yeah, you want to have that redundancy and that security in your network for your consumer base on different trading platforms. It's just smarter to do that if you can afford it and bring that security to people. So yeah, we promote multiple oracle use on chain, and there's no room for exclusivity deals, especially in the Cardano ecosystem.
That is very nice. And then this makes a big question then. Do you have the opportunity? Well, it's actually a worrying question. So, sort of like a weakness, because your weakness and your strength lies with Cardano.
Yeah.
What happens? When is Cardano going to go live? Let's see, because we need this DeFi now to start. And what happens to Charli3 if that never happens?
Yeah,
because that's an investor. I want to ask that question. That's a tough question. I'm sorry, but it's your birthday. But now we're throwing a tough one at you.
Yeah, well, it's good to educate properly, and but that is a hard question to answer for sure. I mean, when does it go live? I mean, some people, including Charles, would argue that it is live. It went live last September when smart contracts were implemented on the system, and like we actually had the very first update on chain of any project to actually run live code on mainnet. But that doesn't mean it's live. It doesn't mean it's possible. I mean, the PAB, Plutus application backend, to allow all projects to actually integrate and talk with each other still hasn't been created. There's a big thing coming up in June called CIP 31 specifically. There's all these numbers for different things to be implemented on chain that can be used as tooling. But that one's huge as far as like multi-protocol integrations go. And basically, tons of projects like the ones I mentioned already in Indigo, Finance, and some of the wallets and other applications are waiting for that. And when they can do that, then they can usually start using, that's when they would want to go with Oracle data. So we're going to talk about late June, early July with the Vasil Cardano hard fork. And that's hopefully when things will start ramping up. However, if we want to, we can provide Oracle data before then. And what does it mean for us? It means that, as we talked about before, people will start buying our data from us, our coins. We can start driving up in price that way for sure. I don't really like to shill the price, but this is just, as you said, the physics of the nature of our project, right? And DeFi. And once that starts coming online, more and more people will see, hey, that's there. It might accelerate other projects to finish and get up faster, purely just because we can actually function and provide that data on chain and make it happen. And so it really is kind of a catalyst event as soon as we start being used. And like I said, if we want to go into the specifics of the tech a little bit, there is a way that we can provide Oracle data now and then improve it with the CIP 31 and the Vasil hard fork to use the Cardano EU TXOs, which is like a main huge bonus for using Cardano over anything else.
Now, a simple thing, interesting thing you just said about the adoption. Guys, we traders, so let's talk trading for a little bit. Yeah. As a bit. Bitcoin has a cycle. Bitcoin gets all the attention, brings in money. It goes up. Everybody loves it. Alts, no alt season. They keep on going up, but not at the rate of Bitcoin. So everybody says it's better to be in Bitcoin. Then normally what happens is that profit then goes over to the large cap alts. So next time around, Bitcoin goes up. The alts those big alts outperform Bitcoin because the money is going there. And then afterwards, after that happens, normally that's when your mid and even your micro caps start going crazy. So then everybody forgets about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is just a granddad at that stage, and everybody wants the new hype thing because that's what makes the money. Now, the reality is, if you think about Charli3 and you think about the way that the Oracle then goes live, and how you need, if you want to use it, you need to Charli3s and you need to lock it up. So what's going to happen is the first project on Cardano, then the second, then the third, and then people are going to start rushing in because it's still cheap. At some stage, as price goes up, it creates the urgency to acquire some, take that supply off the exchange. We've seen this with Phantom. We've seen this with a lot of these other networks where that happens. Now, remember, Cardano is slow. If it's slow, let it grow. I always say that. So it's fine, but now, when we give you this opportunity, please understand that it's not going to make you money tomorrow, but it's going to help. It's going to help because it's going to slowly start taking the supply out of the exchange. And once this thing catches fire and creates a lot of momentum, it will probably be too late for most again, like usual. And then the 90% will come and buy your profit off you. Remember, guys, we're frenemies. I'm here to make money. I'm not here to say that I'm going to sacrifice my gains in your favor. We give you the tools, we give you the information, we put it on a fair playing field, and then we go play a game. And that's what we're on about. That's what we are as traders as well. So at the heart of it, always remember that. Lee, where can I buy Charli3? Do you know? Or should we ask Damon? Because I'm on ERC-20 Charli3 and it's too expensive. I don't want to touch it. Is there a bridge? Is there something that's going to happen there?
Well, before that, I think there were a few questions for traders.
Sure.
When we're gonna list, or when you're gonna list Charli3 on a centralized exchange, and why it has not been done yet?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we're a Cardano native built project. We don't really want to support the ERC-20 token anymore. As Rudo just said, it's too expensive. I mean, gas fees, I think at one point last year were like $250 per trade. It's just stupid. We can't keep supporting that. So we have never tried to do that. It's also extremely expensive. Like we talked to Binance early on, and they're like, yeah, $2 million and 2% of your total supply just for listing. Then you can add liquidity on top of that. Like, we're not rich. We can't do that crap. So what's coming up, just to answer both the questions at the same time, is we have the bridge to Cardano native coming up like imminently. It's our 100% main focus, big time. Without it, like we said, we have to have our native token up for everything to actually be used. So when we're trying to go live here right away, it's we need it. So that's our main focus. There'll be just a straight over one-way bridge from Ethereum to that. You'll have to pay a wallet transfer to take it off the network, the Ethereum network, which is usually like $15, pretty standard for ERC-20. And then you go over to CNT, and then you can buy it on Sunday Swap, Min Swap. We're talking with Wing Riders to list there, and Muesli Swap as well. So that'll be pretty cool. And then if you follow our announcements, there's another way to get it, but that'll be throughout the week. You'll see that next week when we announce it.
You'll hear it in time. You'll be having an edge on everybody else. So remember that, guys. That's why we're partnering, and why we're talking, why we're doing this, is we want to help you guys. It's knowledge is power. So come get the knowledge and share in the power. Okay, so we asked everybody on the tweet for the competition. I think let's get to that because we cut 20 minutes in already. So the tweet was this. Let me just quickly bring up the tweet. I want to add it to my screen there. So we said, follow Charli3 and CryptoEMC. While you're at it, just click on our YouTube Twitter page as well, and then retweet the Charli3 Catalyst proposal and tag a friend and post a question in the comment section. Now, why do we ask people to retweet this Catalyst proposal? I've got it open here. Just quickly explain to them, and maybe why is it wise? If you're a thorough investor and you do your own research, why is it important to go through this document?
Yeah, right before I go and get into that, I'll say where you actually can buy Charli3 right now is Uniswap and a small centralized exchange called ADAX Pro. And you can actually buy it there with like no gas fees, but it's still an ERC-20 token. Okay, Catalyst proposals. Why is it super important for these things fundamentally? One of them is a free, it's a proposal to get funding for free community price feeds. I mean, so we'll put up like the top 10 most necessary price feeds for all projects. So like ADA versus stablecoin, Bitcoin ADA, ETH ADA, whatever. And make that free for a lot of projects launching in the start of the ecosystem. So it allows other projects to launch faster and integrate with their systems a lot faster as well, and not have to worry about that cost on startup. So it bootstraps the ecosystem, and we match the total that goes in with our own funding. So it builds it even more. And we've been talking with the IOHK about also matching as well to build it even more. So it's a community funded project. We're not taking any of it. We actually lose money on that. The other one goes in line with that and bootstrapping everybody to sign up. It's for a dev portal, which means you get the SDK software development kit, which is basically drag and drop solution, what you need, information on all of our data providers, our node operators, and then a price system as well to say, which I don't think other things have yet, is basically like an online store for Oracle data. You put in like how many nodes you want, what data you want, what frequency you want, and it'll pop out a price for that and how much it's going to cost you. And then again, with the SDK, you can automatically implement that into your project quite easily. So the faster and easier it is for people to get on board, the faster the ecosystem grows and the faster we grow as a project as well.
So with all that being said, should we start giving away shit?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, right, let's do it. Lee, I'm going to ask you to share your screen if you can, and get the Charli3 price up for us. And then while we do that, let's quickly have a look at some of these comments and see which is one of those ones that we want to give away. So I'm quickly going through them, and this was a really good one. I'm going to bring this up. And I think, while Charli3 is based on Cardano, is it restricted to the... That's a fair, proper question.
Absolutely.
Put a lot of thought to it. Well done. Please go make contact with us. I think they're going to have to contact Charli3 directly. Am I correct?
Yeah, so just contact us directly on Twitter. I manage the Twitter side of things, and we'll get that to you and figure out wallet addresses and everything like that. So,
and then I'm going to ask you this question, and then while we're there, maybe you can answer it as well. Damon, what improvements do you think will help Charli3 to reach the top of the Oracle game?
And do you plan to go multi-chain?
Multi-chain?
That throws them both together. Both those questions together is good. So let's tackle the first ones there too. Actually, they just go together. So we want to set up our Cardano side of things 100% fully first, obviously. Even on an investor basis, you want to know that we're solidifying what we built to begin with, right? Make sure it works, make sure it's provable, and then we can use that trust to go other places. Of course, we want to branch out. So we'll finish the Cardano stuff right away. We'll get our first integrators. We'll get past CIP31. We'll have the EU TXO model working and ready, and this is part of like what improvements to C3. It's basically building on Cardano, and the infrastructure that's being built for it is the improvement on oracles that can help reach the top that other things like Chainlink can't do. You know, faster network transactions, lower fees, higher security, you know, all of this. Lower congestion rates as well. Like, these are all things that building on Cardano helps, but it's also things that in our base code, we can then use what we've learned from building in Plutus and rebuild a Ethereum-based Oracle to move out to other chains, which for a few months, we've already been talking to different protocols to be able to move over once we're ready, kind of in the summer, sometime late summer, to start moving into other less Oracle-ized chains, I guess, things like Phantom, Moon River, Harmony One, that kind of thing.
I was going to ask you, are you going to name drop? So
yeah, name drop. That's the first time I've done it too. So exclusive.
Well done. Okay, right, guys. So what do you get? You each get 400. Is it correct? 400 Charli3s. 400
Charli3, and we'll talk, and then you'll get those when we have the bridge open. So I'm not going to give them to you in ERC-20. That's just silly. We'll get them all in Cardano native token when it goes live that way.
Fibonacci Lee, what's happening with that price? Because we want to calculate how big the price is and what the price will be at that stage. So over to you, my friend.
Well, to be honest with you guys, the chart is not looking so nice. If you look, if you zoom out like this, I still think that Charli3 in terms of token, trading advice need more time to consolidate here at the bottom. Obviously, you don't want to lose that level here. Where the coin start to get listed, which is like really low price. For what that low was at 90. No, low is 95 cents. No, can't be. What is the data here? 0.045 cents. Yes. But if you zoom in a little bit into these charts, I think for now, in the short term, if you look at the daily charts, I think the lowest point is at 20 cents. For me, that is maybe it's the bottom, maybe not, but definitely trading advice. If we lose this 20 cents here, we don't know how low it's gonna go down again. Currently on a daily chart, we did make higher highs here. And that is, for me, maybe the golden zone, the 61878 level retrace on the fib. So it would be nice if we can hold this level at this reload zone for buyers, and then making higher highs. Basically, I need to wait and see how the chart is going to perform in the next months or two, because basically you want to see higher highs coming back, holding support and making higher highs. Doing this kind of a wave, maybe another checkout, but holding this 20 cent level is really crucial, because other than that, if you lose that, no one knows what the bottom is going to be, basically. But short term, if I put a fib from this low at 20 cent, assuming the low is in, to this top here, as you can see, we are coming back to the 618786. I don't know if you can see on the chart. This chart is really small, but we are right. The golden zone, the real zone for buyers is between 25 cents, 25.90, and 20. What is that? 23? Is it the 3? 23.43 cents. Yes.
So yet again, CryptoEMC has done it. We've given you financial advice and we've told you not to buy. Fundamental. Correct that. We've given you fundamental advice and we told you not to buy. We suck at this.
No, you hold on. On a daily chart, it is a right zone to buy between 25 cents and 23 cents, but you better put a stop loss at 20 cents. And that's a 10%, 10% risk. So either you just put the money that you wanted to lose on that trade and just let it go and scale it down, or you have to really limit your risk, because you don't want to lose 10% on your investment portfolio on one trade. Maybe use just a little bit of money here.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out is, with all the news coming up, we're not even live yet properly. That's all coming up, as well as just there's a ton of people just waiting for us to go Cardano native, right? So yeah, that's a thing. The other projects that have pushed over already have pumped up 300 to 400% and stayed there. So it's an idea.
Keep the fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right. Wishful thinking. Right. That's the main thing. You, in the end of the day, you're my friend and me. You take what we've shared with you. That's the same information we've got. And we want to go and manage our risk. We told you where we're going to be managing our risk. So you need to think of it in the same way. And Damon, buddy, we want to see you back in 2 days. No later than 2 days, because there's more to be giving away. The first two guys, please go and make contact with Damon. If you struggle, make contact with us as well. And we'll make sure to put you in touch with Damon. I want to say thank you. And I want to say go Charli3. Lee, what do you want to say before we say goodbye to Damon?
I was looking at the chart. I lost the conversation in the middle. Did we pick those two winners on NFTs? Have we talked about NFTs?
We actually
talked about them a little bit, but maybe we can touch on them more on Friday when I come back. Keep them a little bit.
So are we gonna pick the winners from the live chat later on now, or what? What's the story? I wanna know who won, who's winning.
Lee, we lost you there. We've already picked two winners from the live chat.
Okay, great stuff.
So let me quickly get the names in there for you, just so that you know as well, so that we've got an additional another Oracle source for Charli3. So the first winner was, I'm scared I'm going to destroy your name, Chilius Maximus. Okay. And that was the second winner. And the first winner, where's that comment gone to now? Oh, I've lost it now. No, that's not good. Did I unstar it? There we go. I got it.
There we go.
Mohammed Shamir. So there we've got it. Mohammed Shamir. Lee, your internet is really delayed, buddy.
Yeah.
But it makes interesting faces. We are enjoying your faces.
It's definitely not my internet, I can tell you that.
That's funny.
StreamYard does play these tricks on us. Okay, so Damon, I don't know. Do you want to say goodbye? I want to stick around when we talk a little bit of Bitcoin. You're more than welcome to do so if you want to, because I think there's a big question. What the hell is happening with Bitcoin, and how are we going to enjoy the ride to 36.5 if it should happen?
Yeah, I'll stick around. Sounds good.
Awesome. So, Lee, I'm going to ask you to bring up your screen, or should I bring up my screen? Let's have a test run with Lee first. There we go. Lee, what are we looking at? How's things going to happen?
How things going to happen? Yeah, good question. How things going to happen? I mean, Bitcoin is...
Give me your crystal ball best.
Bitcoin, maybe share your chart first. I don't know about this internet delay.
All right, okay, cool. So for me, the most important thing is that I want to point to you guys is when we're in this, we're clearly in a trend and we're trending neatly. That's the one thing. So although we might argue that there was buys and stabs, I mean, we even took a buy stab there because our analysis point to it subsequently failed. Happens. Remember, we only write about 70 to 80% of the time. So there is one of those ones that, didn't fail. So for me, the big thing is we're trending down. We've explained to you guys over and over again the function of these imbalances. So when we look at these, it's magnets driving price to a certain area for big market adopters, accumulation or distribution to reload or exit positions. That's just the way that these things work. If I want to push price, think of it as a swing. If I want to push price and I push harder, it's going to come back to that point where I then have to add to my position. And if I don't add, it breaks through. And that's the show of conviction. So what we want to do is we want to see whoever decided to buy these bottoms, as you can see, imbalance, nailed it. Waiting for the gap, hopefully nails it and goes out. It proves the conviction. If we go to this imbalance over here and we start going down and make a lower low, what would we say? Bear market. We're going to start thinking about exiting on the next run up because we will probably experience longer term negativity. So it's a test of conviction, and we're getting to that point. So I want to see us when we get to this point of test of conviction, get above it, and then create another trend like we did over here. So that's the simplest way of pointing it to you. And then we also, I don't know, your chart's ready, Lee? How's it going there? We asked a question about accumulation or distribution. And then I got a few guys saying, well, maybe it's just trading between a channel. But the reality is accumulations and distribution patterns can happen at angles as well. And one thing that I was picking up while I was looking at this, and I'm just going to go into a larger time frame. What I do like is, as we are going down to these lows, can you see that the panic has subsided? Less volume. Now, one of the tests, there's 7 tests of an accumulation if you do a Wyckoff analysis. One of the 7 tests is looking at the volume at these stress points, at these lows and at these highs. And a telltale sign is when we go to these areas, we want to see low volume, exhaustion from the bullish party, because then the order book would be kind of empty because everybody's fighting everybody. Everybody's got their own interest at heart. If there's less opponents on the order book, it's easier for whoever was defending this range down here to put in as little as possible money. They don't want to just throw money. They don't have an unlimited amount of money to drive price out and maybe leave this range. So we at that stage. And another thing is, and this is the important thing for this thesis, if it fails, it means if price wicks through, it's still okay. But it starts closing below this level, I was talking BS because the analysis fails and we have to rethink it. So just remember that, guys. Okay, so that's my point on this. So I am for accumulation. I'm on the accumulation team. And funny enough, I have to say, I really love this, guys. I guess we're all at distribution since the majority felt like it's accumulation. But this is one of those rare instances where I have to agree with the majority. Maybe it's because we're educating our followers, but I'm sorry, buddy. So I gave you luck and well done the end of the day, but I kind of have to go with the majority on this one for now, but I gave you my invalidation. Lee, over to you, buddy.
Well, I mean, I had little bit of fun during the past 2-3 days. I mean, this for me, it can have big volatility going on, right? Yesterday, I mean, 2 days ago, we had a 2,000 candle from bullish candle from what 37, 38 to 40,006. And yesterday we swept the highs again here. So we come back from 40,800 to 37,700, right? To me, it's I will that low here at 37.5. I'm waiting for my short. I mean, I still have this short from 41.8, 42, this area. I really want to see my short closing below this 37,500 here. We were so close at 200, so I did not close it yet. Still price come back. So I'm looking more at short-term bearish, especially with this kind of engulfing bearish structure. We are just pulling back a little bit this morning. If you take this range from previous daily high to this daily low, I think we're coming back to this 23.6 level. We still have this 38.2 to go test it at 39.700. For me, yeah, I'm still more bearish for this week until I get, the bearish analysis played out. If you look at this trend line that everyone is looking at, I mean, maybe the channel or whatever, the bottom of the channel, this is the red line that we draw from the previous low to this low, and then we didn't even went to test this trend line here. Yeah. So for me, this is a small pullback on a smaller time frame. From that move to that move, we stopped at 50%, and then we're trying to go back. Maybe you can go through to 618, 786. From now, yesterday, there were bullish divergence. There were an opportunity for buyers to come in at the 618 retrace from here, but that was really too quick. I didn't take the long yesterday because I was literally looking on a 5 minutes or 15 minutes chart to show me any sign of change of momentum from the yesterday's drop. We did not get that at any stage. So, and the price just went through the reload zone, the buy zone, and we did make a lower low. So today is the same. We did have a change of momentum here, bullish, but now we start to hit already the selling zone at 50% retrace or 786. And I'm just waiting for the first bearish signal to come within this 15 minutes candle. So for now, we had a range. I think below, if we go again below 38.5, 38.6, that will be the first sign of bearishness. And from this pullback, whether we're going to make a lower low or not, maybe they want to go higher, they want to cheat a little bit the market again, come back to this 38.2 within this kind of zone, and then going back to 618. But I do really believe at this time that we will go through this 7,000, the previous low here, basically at 37.7. I still believe that we're going to go through and maybe test the trend line at 37K, even a little bit lower. So my bias for today is I'm waiting for the first sign of bearishness to maybe, push down a little bit the price lower. The target is really, to me, 37.5 needs to go down.
I follow macro trends mainly in the traditional market for as far as watching Bitcoin stuff instead of TA, and I totally agree with that. Totally bearish sentiment right now on pushing down, but there's a lot of investment firms starting to accumulate at the same time. So I feel like a shift in equality, but at the moment, still bearish for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to accumulate. Accumulate. Where is the place on this chart where you can get a lot of Bitcoin? All those buy stops basically below this 37.5. You just need to go to week through this level, and all those stop losses are gonna kick in, and you will have all those buy stop, which is a promise to sell it to you at below 37.5, right?
Yeah.
So this is the place where I would go to close my short, so I can have liquidity to buy. To sell my token to those people who promised me already to buy at those level. What is the best strategy to use? I know that already people are willing to buy at willing to buy stops yet. So they will be selling to me at those levels. So if I want to buy more, I'll get to that place. Yeah.
So amazing analysis and amazing time. I want to bring in something before we sign out. We're kind of running out of time now. Guys, go to our CryptoEMC YouTube while you're there. We've got the Charli3 official YouTube as well, listed under channels. You can always go check there for more updates. You know, it's important to keep your fingers on the pulse of your investment. Otherwise, you are being reckless with your money. Right. Charli3 was an amazing fun. We had a lot of fun with Damon, and I can't wait to have you back on Friday. And we're going to be having you regularly now. Is that correct?
Yeah,
I'm throwing you on the bus. We didn't discuss this. I'm kind of just forcing it onto you because we want to know what's happening with our project. So definitely it's going to happen.
Absolutely. Let's do that. It'll force me to wake up even earlier, you jerks.
Crypto never sleeps, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks for having me on. Guys. I really appreciate it.
It's been awesome having you guys as always. Lee, we keep
hustling even on a baby holiday.
There we go. Cheers, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Damon.
Keep hustling.